Hello and welcome back to already the 13th coaching session I had with Chile. I hope you enjoy it. If so, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment. That would be really be appreciated. Um, of course, you can also check out Chile's channel. I leave his info in the description. And enjoy, and let's go to the session, or at least a part of the session.
100, a 900 to play a 900.
Yeah,
That's how it works.
yeah,
So it will come to it will stabilize in the future.
eventually.
So
Yeah,
with that, without further ado, let's jump into these games.
yes.
The opening here was very nice and very clean. All this is good, by the way. And we reached this position here. So we have some very nice perks here, which white does not. So we have this open F file, which is very nice. And this is very similar to a Rossolino in the Sicilian. The difference being is that we have this C pawn, and they don't have ideas of, let's say, bishop to b5, which they would like to have. But the same ideas apply in that middle game I showed you, where well, here you played d5, and d5 I think was a bit ambitious. And the reason I call this a mistake, which is a bit harsh as well, it's not bad because d5 is a successful break in the position. You do manage to get this moving, but I would prefer to play this a different way. Strategically speaking, I would play something like d6. And the idea of d6 is our next idea is to play e5, right? And if they allow us to play e5, let's say they play h3 and we play e5, now we have the opportunity of mobilizing all of our pieces to the king side. This knight can get in, the bishop is lined up and can sacrifice on h3 in the future. Some very nice tactical alignment with this bishop and this rook working together. So let's say the queen moves, let's just say here, and we can play a move like this. Immediately we're threatening stuff like takes, takes, and takes. And this looks very, very strong. I mean, this is a great square as well. And this resembles maybe a King's Indian where we sacrifice a pawn to get this bishop opened up. So this is a very interesting position, you could say. And I don't know, maybe ideas of this and this with this lined up. So this would be the strategic plan.
You are not worried about the d5 square?
I would relinquish control over d5. I would do this because if we weigh the pros and cons here, we're giving up this very powerful d5 square for this knight, but really what they've gotten is one strong minor piece. It's
true.
Not clear where this bishop will go, not clear where this knight will go, and it's very clear where all of our pieces are going to go. They're all going to go to the king side. So this wouldn't worry me too much. Sometimes you can do this, and okay, let's say they're not happy about you getting e5 and they try and play e5 themselves, which I think is the top engine move. You do sacrifice a pawn in this line for white, but maybe it gives them some solid counterplay. It looks like it does because the bishop opens up. Maybe some piece can mobilize to the queen side in a similar manner, like maybe all of this is starting to line up. So seems valid. Takes, rook e1 to try and regain this pawn. And yeah, the position doesn't look terrible here. I would still go for this, even if we can't get d5, even if we lose this e5 pawn eventually. I would go for this still.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Now, when I was analyzing the game a little bit, I thought that, well, this was maybe a little bit over ambitious, like you said, but this was in my head from the start, from the beginning of the game. I need to play d5. It was in my head. But later I thought, well, maybe I can play the position just with the pawn on d6 and leave it as it is. Because I have this, I have an outpost and he doesn't. Because this pawn is controlling here. And then maybe
that's very true as well. Yeah.
Maybe I can do this later. I don't know.
Yeah, this idea of the bishop routing like this, it does seem a little bit slow. Yeah. And in the Russian school of chess, if it's a slow plan, it's probably not going to work. So
Okay.
There would be some problems there, maybe. I don't hate it. I think it's very creative, by the way. And maybe even something like this, and this, because now the knight is pinned, and we can get some tactics off possibly. Knight comes back and
Yeah.
taking here opens this up. So I like it. I do like it. So knight g5, which does not seem correct. I really like d4. If they give us this chance to play d4, we're going to play it. Knight e2. And the position has changed drastically. The pawn structure now is completely different. And it's kind of like you're playing a Benoni. Like White should be playing here. Like you're playing the Benoni, and
Yeah.
now they have only need two resources, which is
Yeah.
making f4 viable or making this push viable. So we can control this. We can play e5 like you do in the game to control f4. They play f4 anyways, but our move was very good here, and this gives us the opportunity to play what you played in the game, knight g4. Really good move here, making
Yeah.
use of the misplaced knight. So this was all very good. This was very good as well. And here we did miss something. We did miss something
Hmm.
because we were talking about these knights being misplaced. This knight doesn't look very good here on this square, and then it does seem to be some tactics lining up. What could we possibly play here to add pressure to this knight and possibly play for a tactic?
Um, I'm not sure what I played in the game. I can't remember it anymore. But uh,
In the game, you
it.
played bishop d6, but there is a better move.
Okay. Oh.
But it is the right idea.
Um, I want to get rid of the arrows. Here. There's a better idea here. What would that be? Hmm. Um. Yeah. Not sure. Um. Mhm. So maybe something like this. I didn't like it because I'm pinning myself after takes that doesn't seem right.
Yeah,
Uh, oh yes,
yeah,
check by the
and
way. So that's not good.
this yeah, this bishop scoping here is very annoying. Uh, very annoying.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm, um,
It's the same idea. It's the same idea of bishop d6. You only got the piece wrong. The move is queen d6,
what's the difference then?
and the queen d6 is a. The difference is they are forced to play something like this,
Why?
and we're not really gaining anything. Why they have to play g3?
Yeah, the pieces hanging.
Because
They can move,
how else would they? Yeah,
and they have to move the knight, and that
they need to
doesn't.
defend this.
Yeah, because we are also threatening mates. What if they kick my knight
Yeah,
first? Uh,
if they kick the knight, we can take. They take, and we take. Bishop defends. This is very nice alignment. Maybe ideas of queen g6, threatening rook g2 check.
yeah.
And this is yeah. This would not be possible if you played bishop here because the queen cannot rotate this way now. So it's a very subtle difference here.
It makes sense, and it
And
develops a piece.
yeah, and moreover, they do have a very nice defensive resource, which they would not want to play. They would not want to play g3. It's a compromising move because now these squares get a little bit weaker, and your bishop can possibly become a monster here. But they have to play it, and the reason I prefer the queen rather than the bishop is now we can play things like knight g5 and support bishop to g4, which is a very nice idea. So they should be taking this. Our bishop can now fully come to life, either this move or this move. Looks very nice. And yeah, I would probably just play bishop g4 here. No need to overcomplicate things.
Yeah.
And this is a very nice position.
That's nice. And so subtle move that forces some weaknesses. Yeah, it makes a lot of difference a couple of moves later. It's nice. Yeah.
Going back to the idea of the opponent will try and do everything in their power to get a good position, they may consider sacrificing a pawn here. And the only thing we need to be careful of is not to play this move. Because if they play this, there seem to be ideas of this move. Aha, all of a sudden, queen is under attack. We cannot take this, the bishop defends. So yeah, very, very scary here. So if they do push e5, we'd probably just take this pawn, and we get the same idea where bishop g4 is possible, and
we have
doesn't seem to be much for them.
And we have an extra pawn, so
yeah, and then that's just a good position.
Yeah.
But bishop d6 was by no means a bad move. Knight d5 is very logical. We want to move the knight and get it to a good square, so why not d5? However, there is a reason why not d5.
Okay.
There is a very clear reason.
Well, I thought that the knight wasn't even that great over here. It looks nice, but it wasn't doing anything. So I don't mind opening up my bishop.
We have this very nice alignment here, right? This seems to be very good. The problem is this knight defends. So what if this knight didn't exist? Yep. Now you're thinking on the right track.
Yeah, our lesson from last week kicks in now.
And, you know, sometimes when we're considering these sacrifices, we're not going to gain anything immediately. That's very unlikely when we play a positional sacrifice. But we need to be able to evaluate the position just off of piece placement and how the position looks for them.
How do I go
about this? Is their king safe after this?
Do I go with the knight? Follow it up with the queen?
I would go with the bishop.
Go with
I'll go with the bishop because it's more forcing.
Oh. So bishop check, then he has to move somewhere.
Yep.
It feels like I don't want to step to here, but maybe you have to. Maybe it's uncomfortable. Let's say they go here. But then my queen comes over, right? But then the rook
maybe
can come
rook
here.
h3 then. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but then I have check.
Can they? Yeah.
Oh.
Exactly, yeah.
That's not working.
It's getting very interesting.
Yeah. And if you go into this, here, how far do you calculate? Do you evaluate this position as promising enough to?
I would calculate both resources that white would have. I would calculate both king h1 after the check, and I'd calculate king f1. And this is where I would kind of stop because it seems like the position has cooled down a bit, and I would focus more on the placement of the pieces then.
Okay, so you would say, let's say here, sorry, here, check king here.
And I would stop there, yeah.
And then you would stop and evaluate the position, the prospects.
Yeah. And the way I would think about this in my head is the following. So rook takes, king moves over. So we have a bishop here, we have a knight here, the king is here, and the rook is here. Can we mobilize more pieces very easily? Well, if we were to move the queen, now that the bishop has gone, there would be back rank mate on f8. So we would have to play something like bishop e6, but this is by no means a bad placement of the bishop. I think it's developing, it's forwards, it's a good move. And I would also be thinking, okay, now that this knight's gone, maybe ideas of knight e5 come in.
Tempo.
So everything does seem to be working in our favor. It does seem like we will be reaping the benefits pretty soon. So I would go for this. I would play takes, get this position, and I would say, this is enough, because even the bishop coming back, there are some tactics we've created, some very big threats. So I like this, and I also like this. This is just as good, because now we have even more ideas. Maybe bishop d6 and queen h4 comes in. The same idea that if you block this, and if you go here, then check, and here.
Yeah, I can't go queen there right away if the bishop is still here because of the back ranker.
Exactly, which is why we go bishop d6 to block.
Yeah.
Which is a very nice coordination here.
Yeah.
So there was this shot that you could have played, and this would have been a very nice sequence to find. But knight c5, by no means a bad move. This comes in. We of course have to take this. The pieces do come flying off now. We do need to trade a lot of pieces, and this may not be as good as the other line, because more material means more attacking chances.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, still a good position. Oh, and instead of bishop d7, we have now got very good control over back rank, so maybe it's time to bring the queen in with queen h4. And even though we don't seem to have any big attack right now, we would like to take control of these dark squares immediately, because these are permanently weak. So just the fact that they've played this, we've got this monster bishop, we can have a monster queen as well to dominate even further these dark squares, which looks nice. And if they try and add some control to this, it just doesn't work. Bishop here, and rook f1 pinning looks very nice.
Yeah,
you have to play here to avoid some tactics.
I was thinking about, what if they take in the game, they never really wanted to take my knight, but what if they do? Then I cannot go here with the rook.
It's the same situation.
That was my only concern.
It's not even.
Oh, but then I go
It's not even about that. Yeah, exactly. We take control of the dark squares, and they don't have a dark square bishop to defend.
Yeah.
So this is all about managing trades. If we can find these nice trades, and well, they would have to blunder this trade, by the way. If they blunder this trade, then they're obviously going to have a bad time on these dark squares, and we're probably going to make them pretty soon.
Yeah.
So bishop d7, queen h4 now, which is nice. Yeah, they should not trade, of course. Rook f8, very nice. Here we could have also tried bishop takes, with the idea that when they recapture, we can now play rook f8. Let's say queen e2, knight f3 check. And we're hitting that bishop twice. Can't really defend it. Don't matter which square you move to, you cannot recapture.
Wow, the king is wide open.
This was a nice one too.
A lot of opportunities.
Queen g5. Yeah, again, another opportunity. Knight check, which would be an amazing sacrifice here, because after takes, we can play bishop takes, intermediate move, takes.
Yeah, very nice.
So all about weakening the king.
Yeah.
And you have to take this because it's a fork on the king and queen. So very forcing here. You find the same idea in this position, which is very nice. You play knight f3. Got to say, this is a very nice, brilliant move. You of course have to take this, and just winning. Just winning. And the rest of the game wasn't
wasn't really spectacular.
Wasn't too hard. Okay. Next game.
Right, that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And if so, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment. I would really appreciate it. And I hope I will see you back next time with a new video. Goodbye.